Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video sort of, I guess it's kind of like a reaction, going to be giving my thoughts on Robert Kirkman announcing the end of Invincible. So I'll put the link in the description so you guys can see the announcement video from Skybound. You'll probably want to subscribe to the Skybound channel. It's for fans of The Walking Dead, of Invincible, Outcast, whatever other series Kirkman's working on. It's his official, company's channel. So it needs more subscribers. Is basically what it comes down to, because it's the official Kirkman channel, basically. So they released a video. It's a few minutes long, going over the ending of the Invincible comic book series. And for those of you who are subscribed to my channel that watch The Walking Dead or read The Walking Dead comic book series and are not familiar with Invincible, it is pretty much Kirkman's other kind of main comic book series. Now he's got Outcast 2, which has been really popular. It's getting a TV series now too, so it will probably kind of maybe over time take over as Kirkman's second biggest. But for the longest time, Invincible was definitely near the beginning, I feel like. It was one of his biggest successes, for sure. Outside of The Walking Dead. Maybe I'll do a video comparing why I think The Walking Dead succeeded so well and caught on so well while Invincible didn't. Of course, the TV series is has a huge impact on that and has a lot to do with that. When you get a live-action TV series from a network like AMC and it becomes really big, obviously comic sales are gonna go through the roof and are gonna do really, really well as well, because people are gonna start reading the comics to find out what happens next after the TV series events. But this one, unfortunately, was never really adapted. I'd love to see maybe an animated series for Invincible or something, if they could find someone to do that. The only problem is here in North America, it's not like Japan where they have anime and manga. And in Japan, almost all of the good manga pretty much get adapted to anime form. In North America, adult cartoon series generally don't do very well. There's been some. There's been McFarlane's Spawn. There's been some others. But for the most part, they generally don't do that well, unfortunately, which is sad, because I love to see them. Sometimes I enjoy the animated version of a story more than a live-action one, such as the case with Suicide Squad. I actually liked the DC animated movie more for that than the live-action movie that actually was released. So I'm really sad for this one. It looks like the End of All Things is going to be starting in the comic books. It's the End of All Things Part 1 begins with Invincible 133 from Image Comics Skybound Entertainment this November. This 12-part mega story will touch every corner of the Invincible Universe, and when it's over, it's over. Every single story for the past 13 years, it's crazy, it's been going for 13 years, has been leading up to this ultimate showdown, running up to Invincible 144, the very last issue in the series. In a letter to fans, Kirkman explained his and Otley's decision to end the series. We've got a little over a year to go. It's going to be one hell of a year, so please join us for our swan song. 13 years in the making. We couldn't have done it without you, the fans, so let's all cross the finish line together. Absolutely, I definitely will be. So I have pretty much, I have every trade up to current release. I forget the most recent one, but it sounds like, for me, probably just be a couple more to grab. And, I'm going to finish it up so that the Invincible Collection is pretty much complete from the first issue in trade form all the way to the end of the series. Man, it's an incredible, incredible series. And, even Otley's artwork, and I can understand Kirkman's decision to end it if Otley's deciding. In the video, he kind of alludes to Otley wanting to take on some other projects, as he has been doing recently with the shark bear type series. I personally haven't gotten too into it myself, but it looks kind of funny, and it's kind of in between weird and crazy and funny all at the same time. So maybe I'll check that out eventually, because his artwork really is incredible. And he says in the video that that Otley does eventually want to do some different things, because of course he probably doesn't want to do Invincible his entire career, like have his whole career just be Invincible and not doing anything else. like ever, like 30 years to drag Invincible or something. So that makes sense, man. That makes perfect sense to me that he wouldn't want to do it forever, and that it is a lot of work. And also, I can't seem to think that, and this has been something I've thought about before. How does Kirkman do all the different series he does? That must be like insanely hard. I don't understand how he's able to do that. So let's recap what he does for the most part. He's got Skybound. So he has to manage that, and I'm sure he has people in place to, obviously to do most of that, but he's still got to be involved in some way. He's got the Walking Dead comic book series, which he writes, which is a huge series, and so many people are reading. He obviously wants to be very, very careful with his writing and what he does with that, right? And each decision he makes and everything, I'm sure, is well thought out and has to be very careful about the direction of it and everything, because eventually it's going to turn into the TV series, and it's such a huge, whatever he does, whatever he writes is hugely, it just has a huge scope in terms of impact on people. So he's got to be really, really careful with regards to what he does with the story, and probably puts in a ton of thought into the Walking Dead comic book series. So he's got that, Skybound, and of course he has Outcast, and he has Invincible, and then sometimes he does some other projects as well too. And he's also on the TV series, and then there's Fear the Walking Dead, which he's loosely involved with as well too. So it's like, how many things can one person do? So I can't help but think he didn't really touch on the video. If maybe it's just too much to handle everything. Sometimes you try to take on too much and you realize at some part, okay, got a family, got this other stuff going on too, and there's only so much one person can do. There are limits, and when you push those limits, you really start to see, okay, this is, I can handle this, that, maybe I can't, and eventually it sounds like maybe he decided with Otley that they would wrap up the series. Plus also, I don't think it sells nearly as well. I haven't checked the numbers on it, but generally it doesn't sell like even close to The Walking Dead. It doesn't even come closer. And his time may even be better spent doing some kind of other Walking Dead series, like a spin-off or something. It's really sad though that it is ending, because it's such a great series. The artwork is incredible, and it really reminds me of something like with all the reboots, and it kind of pokes fun at that in the story as well too, with integrity and that. Absolutely true. It bothers the crap out of me that Marvel DC, they just keep rebooting stuff to issue 1 over and over and over again. And there's still some stuff from it I love. I'm not trying to say I hate Marvel DC. I love Marvel DC, but I hate how they keep rebooting stuff over and over again forever. And you can't get into it because they reboot it, and it's like, where am I supposed to jump on here and get into a story for the long term for 13 years? There's very few titles from either of them, the big two that do last, that kind of a time frame. So without being rebooted and artists changing and writers changing and it feeling totally different again. So I am very, very sad to hear the end of Invincible. At least it's not the end of the Walking Dead comic book series. Let's hope that doesn't come for a very, very long time. But I think ultimately maybe it just has to come down to what people want, and maybe he realizes that there aren't that many people that read Invincible like myself and like many of you guys, I'm sure, as compared to something like The Walking Dead or maybe even Outcast. And I think maybe the reason for that quite simply is probably it's because it's been done quite a few times, the superhero, kind of teenage Spider-Man, Superman type of character. But I just think Invincible is a great telling of an awesome story with incredible artwork, and it stands on its own right up there, I think, with some of the other greats in comic books like, Superman, Superboy, Spider-Man, some of the others. So very sad to hear the end of Invincible. We'll do a review for the end once I get the last issues in that and kind of the wrap up for sure. Even if nobody watches it, I don't care. I just love the series, and definitely want to do some reviews for the few people out there that have been on board with it all the way through and really love the series. So write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think about the ending of Invincible. Very sad, man, as a fan of Invincible, but I figured, how does he do so much? There's got to be something's got to give eventually, and sounds like Invincible is the one on the chopping block, which is very sad. So write your comments below if you guys like the video still. Please thumb it up. Please don't thumb it down just because it's sad. I know it's really sad, but please thumb it up still. Share if you have a Facebook, you want to share through to Facebook. Let other people know that Invincible is ending if they've read the comic, and you can favorite as well below to help the video. If you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe, and I'll be doing some reviews of the final parts of the series as it finishes up. That's it for this video, guys. We'll see you again for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.
You better subscribe.